What's going on? It's Will Mark Craven coming to you another day with another video. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. There's below a link that will take you to where you can make a donation if you'd like to make a donation. We'll gladly appreciate it. We'll help the channel and, endeavors like these where I have to actually buy stuff. But of course, if you've been following me for a while, you pretty much know what time it is in regards to this. It's illustration. So, yeah, this one might be a little longer. I don't know. I may break this up in segments. Depends on how I feel. But I want to talk about dating. I know I said that's not something I do, but I feel the need to do this so you all understand why your dating sucks. So each one of these on this table represents an individual. Whether it's the tea, Gatorade, Moscato, vodka. And I'm sure those who know me were like, "Oh, Will, you drinking now?" No, I still don't drink. I have no desire. I just opted to use these two just for illustration. I'm supposed to shot a video with this joint with my guy. This is his drink. I'm trying to think of the name right now. LOD, the Lord of Darkness, but that's his stage name. I don't know if he's going by the name with Figaro is his drink. One of my guys from my hometown who I grew up with, and then I got this. Since this setting is for the women, y'all love y'all Moscato, so yeah, I opt to use that too. So yeah, so like I said, every last one of these on here is an individual. It's a representation of an individual. So I also have these glasses here. So with the glasses, you have to understand that these are a representation of who you are. So what tends to happen is we put different viewings of ourselves on display. So with that, you're not going to be the same way in every setting. And this is we learn how to do this when we were children. You start school and whatnot, and you're not the same way you were when you were at your parents' house. The more accustomed to being out away from certain groups that you are familiar with, you're not going to be the same way. So if you were in a certain setting, this is more so champagne glass, this is more for hard liquor or whatever. This could be whenever, dining occasion or whatever. And this is just, kind of like a regular standard where we would put drinks like these in, drinks like these in, drinks like this, maybe a tea. Actually a tea would be more so a mug, but you can get away with putting tea in here. Yeah. So that's what these represent. This is a representation of who you are. So when it comes to dating, you're going to put your best foot forward to impress the individual and make sure it's suitable. This is who you are. This is what's being poured into you. This is your housing. This is your makeup. So, yeah, I made some notes, so I may look at this every so often just to stay on task. So, a lot of these that's sitting on this table, they are feel goods. They're gonna make you feel a certain way. let's see, vodka. That would be this guy. So let me revert to my notes of what I have for the vodka. That's a little too fast. Let me slow that down. Slow it down some more. All right, so vodka. Vodka would be, you pick a guy who's like vodka. After reading up on vodka, it's the perfect choice. Modern individuals pick vodka type people. You can mix them in today's society. What is known as cheating is a common thing. You're mixing individuals. Once you do that, your taste buds may get a shock. So, in certain setting, we know it's usually at your home, maybe at a club menu or whatever, some kind of party. Bartender's going to serve you a glass of vodka if you request it. Also, in regards to picking a guy who's like alcohol, so the vodka represents the alcohol, but whether it's hard liquor or whatever, what tends to happen in picking someone that's like alcohol, and they get opened up, you get acclimated, and you pour them into the glass, have a like so, and you may put a little bit of, have some ice cubes in there, which this kind of drink is recommended. I had to do my little homework on some of it. Like I say, I don't drink, so I had to do some homework. So this vodka is served generally cold. So you also, with vodka, can actually mix it with some of these that's on this table. Sometimes it gets mixed with this. Some places use this to give it some type of flavoring, and this is perfect. This guy is perfect to be when it comes to the dating. He knows he's gonna fit with everything. He's just gonna mesh right on in and do what it is he needs to do, because in this day and age, it's easy to, while we're dating. So also, what tends to happen is, okay, since you're dating, I poured this guy here. You know what? Next, what we're gonna do? Next, I'm gonna do, well. I was over here, and I was running and exercising earlier today, and I decided to get with this guy, and now I'm pouring over here with this guy who's going to, as Gatorade. It's known to be a refreshing drink after a workout to help you get revitalized. And there's some negatives with this drink, in which on the back of it, there's 21 grams of sugar in this drink, which it says water, sugar, dextrose, natural and artificial flavors, citric acid, salt, sodium citrate, malic acid, monopotassium phosphate, modified food starch, yellow dye, number 5, zero ester of rosin, blue 1. So there's a lot of artificial flavors in here, in which artificial flavors and sweeteners will trick your system into thinking it is the natural thing, which then gives you this type of stimulant, and your body's now moving because it's now being tricked. But this technically really isn't good for you, and to be perfectly honest. So neither one of these is really good for you. So you now, because you're dating, and you decide you're taking various things into you. So with taking various things into you, you're not, well, your body has to get adjusted to it. So Not only are we physical, we are also spiritual. So there's a connection going on in between your spiritual and your physical. It's taking this in, it's taking that guy in. So every time you decide to want to drink this, whether it's straight up or in a cocktail manner, you're adding elements. You're adding elements to you. So what happens when you start drinking this? Oh, okay, you drunk some of it. Next thing you know, it's gone, and you decide to drink some more. So, yeah, I got a little something over here that's gonna pour out all this stuff. So, not only you actually even drunk this, once it's finished, chances are you're gonna end up getting something back in here again. Now, since I'm a musician and I've played in a lot of clubs and venues that serve alcohol, most of the time, if you have the same drink, they're not gonna clean it out. If you get something different, they're gonna take the glass, shoot it in some water. It's really clean in the manner that it's supposed to be cleaned in. So, and it's just a quick exchange. So in dating, this tends to happen. So here's the other aspect. So your drink of choice for the night is now vodka, or whatever drink it is, Hennessy, whatever, tequila, it don't matter. This, like I said, this is representation of alcohol. So your drink of choice, boom, they're gonna give you this. Now, depending on where you go, there are some venues they'll serve you. A lot of venues will give you a different glass if you're not finished with the other one. Some will keep serving you the same one, even though it's not sanitary. But all right, they serve you a drink. Next thing you know, even if they did, you're with the drink in regards to the individual. There's a chance now that because this is your drink of choice, it may be a different bottle, same brand, different bottle, but that's now a same type of guy, but it's now a different guy. So now this is what happens when you're like, all right, why do I keep getting the same guy? Because you picked a certain brand or a certain style of drink, and that individual fits the same as the other person, same type of style. He comes the same way. Even if it's not this name brand, which is Figaro, if it's a different name brand of vodka, still vodka, but it's coming in a different type of person. So now your palate is different. You're tasting, oh, well, this guy, it was vodka, you know what I'm saying? This is what he, such and such. But this tastes smoother. Or this is more warm. Or this is that feel. All that stuff starts translating into the sexual as well. So all these feels start taking place, and you're mixing. And what then happens is you forget. Well, no, it's making me. I'm thinking right now, which I'm gonna have to pause this because I left a drink off this table. So I'm gonna stop this right quick. Actually, I'll just cut it out. Run, go get me that orange juice. Hurry up, make it quick. with the vodka, it took my mind to when, like I said, I was looking at various things to get a little bit extra on all this stuff, and I ended up watching a video on YouTube and had this there, and they did a taste test to see how close the various orange juices were to the fresh, and it was a husband and wife, and the husband said, well, you're kind of surprised because your taste buds are so used to this. This is why you're actually picking this one, because it tastes a certain way. Translates to this in regards to dating, in which, like I said, these all are representation of an individual. So once you start tasting certain individuals, the more you keep tasting it, the more you're going to keep picking that individual. So if you're making this, and all of a sudden you got a little bit, and this is what happens a lot with females. You got this in here, I'm like, oh, you're wasting this good alcohol, whatever. You got this in here, and next thing you know, you want to mix this with it. And I'm not a bartender, so hey, you get upset, you get upset. I don't really care. This is just for illustration. But you put that in there, and to the eye in that environment, if you know, you know, but if you don't, you may think they're drinking something special, even though, yeah, but you can see the bubbles, so yeah, whatever. So sometimes orange juice get added, but just for purposes, in this drink, we didn't put that in there. So now that that's in there, you've mixed 3 different guys together, which is why. And yeah, I just thought about which one this is. That looks terrible. But regardless, you now ingested 3 different guys. So this is why a lot of females I see online are always trying to do a builder guy, because you ended up mixing one guy with this guy. You like this from that guy, you like this from that guy, and you like this from that guy, and then you decided to drink it, and now all of a sudden you want to pick this from this guy, you want to pick this from this guy, you want this from that guy, as opposed to appreciating what actually just really came from the one. And what makes it worse is if you're drinking at home, which chances are that happens, how well are you actually cleaning the glass yourself? So this way. So looking at this glass, there's a lot of pulp in here, and from the rest of it, because there's the stuff that's in it, you have to clean this out. But what tends to happen in relationship world, in the dating world, is you done went and dated somebody, it didn't work out, you didn't like it, and you don't take the time to really clean this out. So now you go to the next individual and you put something in that glass. And I should have actually brought another thing of water, but I'll use this water here since it's just here. Just a little bit of it. You somewhat clean it out, but you don't see no pulp. Oh, it's just water. Okay, and it's cleaned out. Next thing you know, you're pouring somebody else back in there. So you didn't even give yourself the time to actually be thoroughly cleaned. And that's an issue this is an issue you having, because even with this you put the Gatorade in there. All right, this guy comes along. All right, I need him to revitalize me after I've been drinking whatever it is or doing whatever it is. I'm just using him to revitalize me. He's encouraging and this and that, even though he's technically bad for you, and it's going to be bad for you over time with all of the sugar and the added stuff that it's like, all right, well, it's making my body feel a certain way. He makes me feel this way. Oh, I like him because I feel this way, because when I do such and such and such, and I need such and such, it gets done. I feel better. After a long, hard day's worth of work, I can call Joe Blow, and he gonna come over and do what it is that I want him to do. And this is the guy that's friends with benefits, or just some guy you're dating to just be sleeping around with. And in the end, you're not fully understanding that what he's all about, what's in this container. It's the same deal with the Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, we know, served at family functions. It's one of the top, between them and Pepsi, the top soft drinks you can actually get on the market. It's a mainstay, kind of like some of the dudes that you see out here. Same old dude, he fits the same mold. He's gonna show up at the family function. He's going to show up at the repast. He's going to show up at the restaurant. He's going to show up at the banquet. Whatever it is, he's going to show up at the sports venue, commercials, everywhere. This guy is going to be present. He's just going to be present. So he's easy to pick because you see him so much. Even though he's one of the worst on this table, this is probably in my book, he's the worst drink you can actually drink on this table. And I say that because I used to work on cars. I used to work on Volvos. I was fortunate enough for my dad to, I might have said this in one of the videos, where I didn't want to do certain things, but he drugged me outside to make me work on a car. And then eventually he introduced me to Mr. Rich, who worked on Volvos. And when I was there, Mr. Rich didn't want to buy it was a certain solution, and he said it was too expensive. He didn't drink this stuff, but he drank Mountain Dew, one of his favorite drinks, because he said it gave him plenty of energy. But this drink he would pull out anytime we would have to do rust jobs, fix rust on Volvos that would come in. We would literally pour this in a bucket, get the wire brush, pour it on there, and we take the wire brush and scrape it off, and it would get rust off the car. He also used this when he had to mess around with batteries and they had corrosion on it, and all he would do is just pour that on there, and it would literally eat the corrosion off. So this drink here, like, technically for you is the worst. Tastes good, and it's addictive. It's amazing, especially with older individuals. They gotta have their Pepsi or they gotta have their Coke. And it's the same deal with in relationship. Like, you gotta have a certain guy that you want. If he's packaging and such and such, you gotta he gotta come this way. If he ain't got such and such money, or whatever it is, this guy. We like to use it. Oh, the Coke bottle built a certain way. So 9 times out of 10. That Coke guy is gonna get poured in this glass. Just like it's gonna get poured in this glass. And pour a little bit more of that out. But again, actually, go give me a bottle. Go give me one of them water bottles that's out there, that you moved out there. Go give me one of them. water in here. Rinse him out just a little bit. So, you clean him out, whether you use a little bit of soap or not, or whatever. Some people be like, oh, it's the same glass. Yeah, it's the same glass. Whatever. Just use it again. In the relationship world, a lot of times when it comes to dating, people simply are not cleansing themselves. So now what's happened? Pouring this guy into you. This is the guy you see all the time. He's the dating standard. Why is he the dating standard? Because he's addictive. He has a lot of sugar, all these additives. Surprisingly enough, this one, I didn't realize this is Coke Zero. I bought Coke Zero. I just grabbed the Coke because this was the only one on the shelf. But I saw with the regular one, it's like 39 grams of sugar in it. But again, it really doesn't mean anything because natural flavors are in here. Coloring is in here. Potassium citrate, caffeine. There's still actually sugar in here. So, even though it doesn't have, it's a other sugar, but there are added flavoring and stuff in there. It's gonna make that have sugar in it. So, this guy, he just floats all across the board. He covers so many things with the sugar, the caffeine, and he's gonna spike you up a little bit. It's gonna taste good, nice and cold. He's gonna quench your thirst. He's gonna do a whole lot of box checking at the moment. And this is why I say when it comes to women that you all have to master your emotions, because if you don't, the minute you take this, you get a little bit of him and you drink it. It's refreshing. It's gonna hit the palate of your tongue like, oh, this tastes good. So, and if it tastes good, that means you're gonna drink it again. And depending upon the setting, family gathering, you're outside, you're in a social, whatever, you're gonna keep drinking it, not realizing how many you've actually had to drink. I've seen various individuals run through a whole case of canned pop of Coke or Pepsi, and it's like, oh, I doubt it. This is how females get ran through. This guy, same deal. He came with the same MO. Basically, packaged this way. You know, the trusted thing a lot of you women like to mention is if another dude say, hey, beautiful, or good morning, whatever that joint is, y'all get upset about. Packaged like that. Same deal, coming in nice and smooth. But that's not good for you. It's not good for you at all. But you'll continuously drink it because it's common. It's addictive. When a guy is turning around and he's saying certain things to you that's tickling your ear, which is translating to your emotions, he becomes addictive, which makes you pick this same guy again. And you don't even really understand why you keep picking this guy again. And then next thing you know, you're finding yourself, I didn't pick this guy so many times, I want to float over to here, to the Riscato. A guy who comes to you with like the Riscato. He's nice, smooth, gives you a certain vibe, and next, because this has a vibe to it when you drink it, and next thing you know, you find yourself drinking this quite often, or you want to get with your girls, and next thing you know, you're pouring this, and you want to have a good time. So next thing you know, you're calling the guy who's going to put you in the vibe. He's a whole vibe. Because because you want to have a good time and relax, chill, or you go on vacay. Next thing you know, you're out there on vacay and you run into this guy, and he's the Moscato. And next thing you know, what's happening? You're sipping. You're sipping. You're sipping. It's a sip drink. So you sip a dude long enough, next thing you know, you didn't realize, oh, I done ran through this whole glass, didn't even realize. Next thing you know, next thing, what is it? Oh, I may have a little buzz because this, even though you won't get as much buzz from other alcohol as far as the wine goes and the vodka, but it's still going to create something. So now you may find yourself in a Beyonce deal, drunk in love, because you're floating through so many different guys. That's this guy may lead to this guy, and this guy will end up leading you to possibly this guy, which this guy is V8, which the old folks know. You follow, if you get a hangover with either one of these, you follow them up with the good guy, the cleanup guy. Now you want to get back sober. Is when you have your come to Jesus moment. So you now want to go back to like, oh, okay, well, and dudes pay this attention too. Because he's like, all right, this guy like, yeah, you're going to have your come to Jesus moment, but you coming back. You coming back. I feel good. I taste good. The same one. Oh, I'm smooth. I know dudes today, they don't care what guy you're dealing with. Now, in the past, they used to care, but these guys today don't care. It's like, I'm not going to be committed to you. I'm just going to go in, do what I do, get what I want to get, and I know you're going to come back. If you build it, they will come. If you build your emotions and get tied to the guy, he knows you're going to come back. Especially this guy, because he knows he's addicted. He knows that. So, next thing you know, you're pouring this guy to feel good. You get your bearings back because now you got to go back into the world. You got to get working. You need that money. You got responsibilities. Your children need you. This and that. This is stepdaddy season. Oh, okay. Yeah, I need this guy to come in because I've been partying and doing all this other stuff. Or Tyrone over here been clapping and everything else, and now it's like, oh, okay, I need my come to Jesus moment. And with my come to Jesus moment, I'm gonna have this, and hopefully he gonna take care of everything and fix everything, because he's also a quick fix to your issues. Why is he a quick fix? Because you don't really want to take the time and actually sit down and eat legit vegetables. You rather, all right, I'll just drink it. So now you want to sober up. But your glass keeps getting various types of drinks in it. And the older you get, the more you keep doing this, you run a chance of starting to get heartburn. Tomatoes and stuff like this, citrus, will eventually cause you to have heartburn. So now you're messing with you having your come to Jesus moment. You want to be your salvation and get cleaned up, sober up. Oh God, I won't do this no more. Get me out of this situation. Whatever. And one of these guys up here is saying, oh, okay, yeah, you gonna come back with that $40 holler. And they just sitting, waiting their turn. or they'll spin the block, as people like to say. One of these guys are like, all right, we gonna spin the block, or we just gonna sit on the shelf, or we know the ad gonna show to where the ad be like the algorithm. Next thing you know, the algorithm and pull an old boy back up who you ain't seen in forever. He now in your feed, and he directing it right back to you. Next thing you know, inbox, and a whole exchange is now happening again. Dudes will sit and wait. Now, some dudes will be thirsty to come back to you, but then you got other guys who just gonna sit and wait. So you're out here dating all these various individuals who just want to turn. They all want to turn. And after you've done this so many times, you done that so many times, now you gotta once again clean yourself up because the residue is left. And this is the thing with females, y'all do this kind of good. You're gonna clean yourself up to the point to where you don't want the new guy to see who all you've been dealing with. So you're gonna clean yourself up good enough to where he don't see all that residue in you, because you don't want to look like you beat up, burnt out, been used, busted, disgusted, and all that stuff. So you gonna clean yourself out fairly well. So you revert to this guy after a certain point, and he ain't too much better than the other drinks, but we know. Yeah, and this is Canada Dry. I know all the ones were like, oh, I ain't even finna get into the other ones. The other ginger ales, what y'all be feuding about. But you gotta pour this guy now, because so much time has gone past that you now need this guy to counteract this guy and this guy, because these guys now give you heartburn. Now you feeling some type of way, so you need this guy. This is a result from having various guys come into your life. So now this guy, he's not too much better because he's still a part of the system. He's a part of the ecosystem. I can't remember which one umbrella he's on. He might be on the Pepsi or Coke. But that's the other thing. I don't really think about, all right, why does these certain guys feel the same? Whose system are they a part of? Who did they buy into? People don't go that deep. Like relationship, that guy is going to be tied to somebody else. He's learning what he's learning from somebody else. Whether this guy, we could say, all right, this guy moves like the stuff he hears in the rap lyrics or whatever music it is that he listens to. So all of his movements and actions are based upon that. So that's how he's going to move, and that's how he's going to treat you and do all these things. Or this guy over here, his whole makeup and premise is moved from the porn industry, and all he want to do is stuff that is centered around porn industry. And this is why he moves that way. Those are like things like that. Those are entities. So that would be like the companies that would oversee. So they're gonna move what's being instilled into them. Like I said, come to Jesus. The come to Jesus would be the company that this guy is. So a lot of people are just really not taking into consideration as to you got to understand that a lot of what you're experiencing is you got a ton of glasses on display. and you're trying to put your best foot forward. You're drinking from this glass. You're drinking from this glass. You're drinking from this glass. And when it's all said and done, this particular guy usually doesn't get the most play that he should get. Now, we're all made up of predominantly water. And this guy is going into pretty much all of these. But because we are marketed to a certain way, we have a tendency of discarding this guy. But before I go into this guy, I almost forgot about this guy. And he's the biggest one on this, well, he's probably the second biggest one on this table. And that's this guy. This guy here, a lot of females get got by this guy. Yeah, they get got by this guy, but this guy here, I don't understand. Well, I understand why y'all get caught by this guy. I just don't understand how y'all continuously get caught by this guy and then be upset. Like, I'm really struggling to get this box open. Man. I don't buy these, so I guess that would explain. Yeah, this been sitting here for a minute. But yeah. We all know what this is. It's the kiddie drink for the kids. And this drink here gets a lot of jokes on social media in regards to guys who play this role and be like, oh yeah, you know, I'm over there, I'm playing stepdaddy, and I'm drinking up her drinks, this drink. But the reality is, a lot of guys are this drink. There are a lot of guys this drink. But the kiddie drink. What is the kiddie drink? The kiddie drink is the immature guy, the guy who didn't grow up fully. So he still acts like a little boy. And the things he does, he serves you like a little boy would. So you've picked this guy, and you're wondering why he doesn't do this, he won't do that, and he's not trying to take a trajectory that goes upward, and you want to level up and do all this stuff. You can't get this guy to level up. He's just not, because he's the Capri Sun. And you all fall for this because he plays on your inner child. And dudes know. They'll drink this drink, they all say, go over to chick house, get one of these drinks out. Why? Because it's still refreshing. It's made for kids. It's nostalgia. So this guy is going to give you nostalgia. He's going to take you back to your childhood. And even if he's doing this when you want him to level up, and he tries to do one of these on you and level up. About to make a mess here. Clean up in aisle 6. So he does this. Instead of, you want him to be big boy, he's doing this. So it's like, okay, well, I'll prove to you I can be big boy. So he proves to you he can be big boy. He lets all of himself go out. And he comes with another one, proving to you that this is his way to prove to you that he's leveling up. He wants to show you that he can level up. And in his leveling up, packaging it a little bit different, putting it in a different glass. So he leveled up, but it's still not the level that you want. Why isn't it the level that you want? Because, well, now there's more in here. The quantity's more. He feel like he made big boss move. But what did he really do? He gave you more of what he was. That's all he did. He put more in this glass. It went from down here to up here, but the substance was still the same. You can't change this guy. And that goes with the rest of them. See, a lot of you all want, this is why you have an issue in dating. You want the level up, so when the guy levels up, he's giving you more. But because this is who he is, he can't give you what you really want. He's limited. This is why I say about tools. Guys, when I teach the guys, I'm constantly talking about tools. You gotta have tools. You gotta have the ability to have tools, because one's palate wants to taste certain things once it's a certain age. It wants to taste certain things. And once it tastes certain things, it's gonna wanna keep tasting certain things. So now you have this guy who's still on kiddie level. He serves children from a children-based mindset. And as I said in another video, puberty. He's stuck in puberty. He can't reach you where you want to be reached. Which is why this guy here has an issue with this guy, and this guy, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to float to this guy. You're going to either go back to this guy or you're going to go back to this guy, because this guy is not on this guy. This guy here is an age requirement. You have to be a certain age to be there. So it's mature. And usually liquor has to ferment, so it's going to have a process to go to it. And aging. So you mess with this guy who's a little boy, next thing you know, you find yourself going back to here. And then you're repeating this whole cycle, because now you done went back to here. And so you know you won't have your come to Jesus moment again. And you know, oh, I'm back over here at Tyrone, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, well, I got heartburn again. I want this guy again. You keep repeating that same cycle. So the dating pool sucks because it's going like a revolving door. You're going to this guy, to this guy, to this guy, to this guy, and you may go to this guy who's supposed to be natural and all this other crap, and unfortunately, there's a label slapped on there, but that really ain't natural, just like this ain't natural. Orange juice, fresh orange juice don't taste like that. They have to do certain things to it in order for it to be preserved on the shelf. Fresh orange juice is only going to last you 2 days. So this has been doctored. It's been altered. And you're wondering why guys today are not like guys of old, because they're all now factored. They're factory. Their mind has been factored to a certain point to do certain things, because every day we got one of these little devices going on, a billboard out there somewhere marketing to us to change our psyche, to get in our mind, to basically get the dollars out of our pocket. I mean, when you go on a date, what's the whole MO now? A lot of these females out here, what was it, 2 months ago? It might have been 2 months ago, maybe 3 months, anywhere from a month to 3 months ago. The whole Cheesecake Factory deal was an issue. An old girl got on social media, and well, she did get on social media. She went with the dude, and she stuck her nose up to him taking her to the Cheesecake Factory. Money. And females will say, oh, if you don't spend such and such, you broke. Money. So it's you're being factored and funneled into this stuff that's going to create a revolving door. And you end up picking this guy and this guy and this guy. You're bouncing around like a ping pong ball, and you're having issues and whatnot, and you don't understand why, because you're taking different drinks, and it's affecting your palate. And you're gonna end up going back to whichever one, and then you got an issue going on. As opposed to when you were taught as a child, you were taught that you should drink water. Now I'm using this water to clean out. And that could be a representation of God too. But we tend to not want to value water like we should. But before I do that, I want to show you something. Before I jump all the way over to the water guy and where you should be, I want to show you what's been going on in your system. That's what's been going on in your system. Unfortunately, this is not the cleanest picture, but whatever. But this, and it's perfect that way, because you've been putting all this stuff in you, and it's getting dirty. Your insides are getting dirty. You're mixing all this crap, and you're not detoxing yourself properly like you should be doing, because you shouldn't be just jumping from one person to the next person. You got all this mess in your system, then you're wondering why your stomach is upset, why your spirit is upset. So you put that in your stomach now is representing your inside of you, and your spirit is off. You say, oh, my energy is off, the vibe, oh, I need to find peace. You can't, because this is on the inside of you, and you're constantly mixing it. You let this dude go here, you let that dude go here. Now you all confused and wondering, what the world am I supposed to be doing? You didn't take the time to let this mess get out of you. You didn't clean your system out. You didn't do that. Which is why you have issues going on. And you're trying to figure out, why do I have all these issues going on? You don't want to take the time and figure that out, or take the time and cleanse yourself, detox yourself. And this is why this guy is so important, because he now has to come in and undo all of the stuff that you did with the other guy. When this guy is a guy you should have picked from the beginning. This guy who's legit, upper scale, even, he's more upper scale than this water here. But as it goes, this guy here is the guy you should have been choosing to be the guy. But he just water. That's all he is water. No, he's one of the most powerful things on this table, because every last one of these needs him. He's the master. And when I say master, females get upset, like, oh, well, you trying to be a slave and blah, blah, blah. Well, a master is one who's in control, one who can teach, one who has plenty of tools. So, you need this guy here. This is the guy here you need. This is the guy here you should want. Why? Why you should want this guy? Because there's so many other things when he's on point, he knows what he's doing, he understands how things should go. He is going to do what is necessary for you to be better. And he's going to make sure you are secure, which is what I say all the time when it comes to you all as women. The biggest thing you want is security. This guy, that's his whole purpose. He's going to make sure he's secure, being water, knowing that he's necessary. And he's going to make sure you're all cleaned up if he's about to ride. Clean you up and get to work so he can get the best out of you. Because this over here still in you is not going to be the best of you. He got to get all that junk up out of you. You got to get all that junk up out of you. So, after you start getting all this stuff out of the way and casting it aside and it no longer being important, this guy here is going to make sure you're good. So, when I say a guy needs tools, this is what I mean. He comes with this, him being this, but he brings this with him on his own table. All these things can be added to him. These all can be added to him. So for whatever situation that may arise in your life, this guy is going to make sure that you're good. Of course, there are going to be guys who are like, he's a sucker and all this other stuff. No, legit guy who's a master is going to make sure you're good, secure. Because I cannot get out of you everything I need to get out of you when you got all this mess in you. You got so many other dudes still in you, and you're not functioning right because you're still thinking about this guy, you're thinking about this guy over here, and all that residue still left on you. You can't process right. So now what happens? You're fighting because you're trying to get well. So you're going to fight another guy who's trying to tell you certain things, which is 9 times out of 10 why a lot of you all women don't listen, because you've already yoked up with another guy. You've heard the commercial, you heard the slogan that he's telling you, it's gotten into your ear, you bought into that. And now when this guy comes along and he's trying to get you on point, you're fighting it because this slogan is still in your ear. Or this slogan is still in your ear. Whichever one of these slogans, commercials that's in your ear, that prick you to go that way, it's in your ear. And you're having a hard time to tune it out. So this guy got to come, and then he got to bring this. Because he know you don't feel that well. Which this here is castor oil, one of the nastiest things you can actually take. This mess nasty. But he got to give you that to get you right. Or he got to give you some of this oil of oregano and drop it in there and give you a few droplets to get your whole system right. Or because Instead of giving you this guy, he decides he want to give you this guy or some baking soda, drop a little bit in there to get your system right. And then he got to follow up with something like an energy drink, drop some drops in there to get the system right, to boost you back up. Whatever it is, whether it's protein, this crystallite, or if he knows, like, all right, since I already know, this is why I said twos, like, I know she done been around such and such. Yeah, every so often I'll give her a little bag. He'd be a little bad. He's like, all right, I know you had Tyrone, or you may like to want to gravitate to Tyrone. Let me put a little bit of this in there, and that's a little Tyrone, and give you a little extra sugar. This guy, which is tend to how I operate, I know how to add all these elements to this glass, as opposed to just being one of these, and you stuck being this guy. You can't do nothing else. And then you wonder why he ain't got enough, because he's just the boy. But the guy who's the master understands and is going to evaluate what's necessary for the situation. But a lot of you all don't like to date this guy. You won't date this guy. You'll date all the rest of these guys. I'm laying the back one out. Been going for, I don't know. So, yeah. But you'll date the rest of these guys, but you don't want to come to this guy because he's bringing so many things to get you right. He has to do so many things to get you right. You don't want to take the Alka-Seltzer. You don't want to take the oil of oregano. And I take this stuff, this one joint right here, it's spicy. Like, I got this for my mom. Yeah, she always complained about this stuff. Like, yeah, but it does the job. It does the job. And you need the job to be manifested, to make sure you are good. You want to have a healthy and prosperous life. All this other stuff out here that you all dabble with and going and enjoying yourself, every last one of these other things I had on here has long-term effect on your health. This is known to cause high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease. Just as well as you can't drink too much of this stuff. It'll cause. This has 23 grams of sugar in it, along with other stuff in it. Long term, they're going to affect you. Water is not going to affect you long term unless it's been contaminated. Like we know with Flint had that bad water. And again, company, government, barely did anything about that situation. And this is why, if you're out here on your own, especially as a woman, when you don't know who's pulling the strings, you're liable to get got, and you're gonna liable to float from one to another, and then you look up, years and went past, and you had all these issues, and you didn't accomplish what you wanted to accomplish. This individual for whatever reason, you're getting pushed away from it. This type of individual, guys are not being taught to be this type of individual. They're taught to be all these other guys. Enjoyment. Like little ponds set aside for you to go out here and do the bidding of the king, the master. And it's not benefiting you. And this is why dating sucks. It sucks because you've been enticed and taught to go out here, have fun, Think about it. A lot of the things you're encouraged not to do is for your happiness. Your happiness is going to fluctuate. And when your happiness fluctuates, it tends to put you on certain paths where you shouldn't be, which is an issue. It's a hard issue to overcome because a lot of things that we do in life, they're stimulated to I was thinking something, but then I'm thinking something else at the same time trying to fight it. But yeah. So you have to come to a decision. And I'm gonna try to wrap this up and close. You have to come to a decision on where you want to be. Do you really want to be out here in these streets dating? Are you capable of identifying these guys? My honest opinion, now, chicks who are older, they probably will be capable of identifying it. They done been on the merry-go-round long enough. They can identify. But as a younger female, starting out, late teens, 20s, 30s, you're not going to identify these guys too well. Not if your father ain't teaching you this game. Which is why I will say until I'm blue in the face, take the guy to your father. I give this to females every time we start talking. Oh, you don't want to be bothered? You can see what the guy about real quick just by saying, okay, you want my phone number? When he asks for your phone number, you give him your father's phone number. Or whatever male figure that you actually talk to get advice from and guidance. Send that guy to that guy to let him identify what he is. Because this is the guy you want, or whatever father figure that's in your life, to be able to identify and say, okay, he has all this. He has this. South. He gonna bring it to the table to make sure your body's good. You dwell in healing and have peace. You know, which I say quite often. I don't look for a woman to be my peace. I don't need for her to be my peace because I have all this stuff. I know how to float in my own peace, and because that I do, I'm going to establish that. So this would be the South representing some kind of peace. This here representing some kind of peace. This castor representing some kind of peace. Why? Because these three right here that I picked up, not to mention the main one that I brought up here, was to represent that chameleon, which is it's a T to relax. Peace. So that's a whole nother deal. Dudes coming up there, that's like this guy here again. Little boy want you to turn around and tell you to be his peace. No. As a grown man, I'm not looking for a woman to be my peace. I don't need her to be my peace. For what? I learned this at a young age when my father stuck me in the martial arts. He stuck me in the sports. All these things that he stuck me in, even with the whole car situation, they all were teaching me discipline. And in discipline, you have to be grounded and you have to have a level of peace in order to function. Because there are going to be so many things that come to you in life. Life is going to life. I say it all the time. Life is going to life. How well and how disciplined you are determines that. So God telling you to be his peace, man, I look at a dude sideways. I ended up being married to my ex-wife. One of the biggest reasons was when she came to my house, she said it was peaceful. Okay, cool. I'll be doing my own thing in the house. She literally either lay in my bed or go somewhere tucked away in my house. I didn't bother because I knew my atmosphere. And because I knew my atmosphere, once again, I understand that when a woman feels secure, she's going to gravitate to you. She's not going to go anywhere. Why? Because she's enjoying the security that's being provided, which is why this guy is so important. I got to stop messing with these other dudes. You mess with these other dudes, and they cannot provide the peace that you want. They can't do it. Because there are too many of them. You're dealing with too many of these. You're dealing with too many of these. And with some of these drinks that I put up here, like this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, these are all kid friendly. Children drink these drinks. It's all child friendly. So you're wondering why the guys you deal with have this boy-like persona, because a lot of this stuff that they're serving you is child-friendly, except these, which is why these two tend to get you into trouble a lot of times when you start dealing with guys of this magnitude. Then you got to go back to the other stuff to get cleaned up. But y'all gonna date, going in this merry-go-round circle that's gonna keep leading you to the point where you keep getting bumped upside your head and you're wasting your time. This is what you should expect. That's the guy you need. He's high in nutrients. Well, he has the possibility to be high in nutrients to add stuff to it, vitamins or whatever else. Whether you want to put the protein in you, you got those vitamin C packs that you can add, like that. You got this mess, which is similar to this. If he wanted to add this stuff, or he can take fresh fruit and add to it. Stick it in the blender, pour it in there. He put the fresh fruit in there. Serve it to you, make smoothies, whatever. He's getting mixed into it. As opposed to just having one of these guys you're fixed on. And now you gotta have this guy for the flavor of the month, that guy for the flavor of the month, and this guy doing it. This guy here knows how to get all the rest of these other stuff to be added. They gonna serve him to where he needs to do what it needs to do for those around him who are utilizing him. He has everything around him already. They're working for him to do whatever it is necessary. That is what they're doing, as opposed to these guys and their limitations. They're limited. But you're gonna get this from these type of guys because they're not masters. They're not masters of themselves. They're not disciplined. They're not in control of themselves. See, when you're in control of yourself, you drink this freely. When you're not in control of yourself, you need little things that's added to you to make you addictive. So now you're no longer in control. They're controlling you because now you're addicted to them. As opposed to this, you don't get addicted to this. You just know it's necessary to sustain you, to keep you alive, to not be dehydrated, because these are going to dehydrate you. You're going to start feeling certain effects. Then when you decide you want to finally go to the hospital or see your doctor, and he's going to tell you, well, you need to cut back on such and such and such. You need to add some more water into your life. You need to have this right dude that's in your life that's going to make sure that he got you. He going to cover you. He going to protect you. He going to, y'all say all that stuff, but don't know how to get this guy. You want the guy, but you don't know how to get the guy. Because because you're on this dating scene getting all these other guys who are not fulfilling that one thing, those specific things that you're requesting. And these guys are rebuttaling you when you say, oh, protect and provide and all this other stuff. And then these are the same guys who would turn around and refute you when you're saying the 50-50, which is nonsense in my book. It's 50-50 is one, it's equals one, which is 100. But that's a whole nother story. You're getting refute on that, and then when you turn around and you're saying paying all the bills and all this other stuff, and you're getting that stuff from these guys. This guy is not going to say that to you. When he's in the know, he's not thinking about that. These guys are thinking about that. Because there's a form of control there that's going to actually happen, but this guy is not trying to control anything. He's just making sure that there's various provisions there to enhance the life. These guys aren't going to too much be able to enhance much for you, but whatever the feel good it is that you're chasing, the happiness that you seek. That's not the choice. It's not the proper choice. So, as long as you're on this dating scene, you're willing to play this revolving door, understand you're going to experience all this stuff that I had up here. And when you start experiencing all that stuff that I had up here, you're going to have this. It's going to be in your system. It's going to be in your system. And at some point, you're going to have to get it out of your system or it's going to kill you. And how does it kill you? In the signs of relationship world, it's going to make you bitter. It's going to make you upset. You're going to be triggered. All this other stuff, and it's going to make you defensive. And then when someone tries to get with you, you're responding in such a way. It's because you got all this stuff on the inside of you. And you can't get anywhere. It's like you're trapped. Your inner you is screaming and hollering and want to break out. And these dudes are not going to accept when you say, oh, I need you to do such and such and such to bring out my feminine. I understand that statement. When you're this guy, you understand that statement. Now, see, these guys ain't going to understand that statement. They're going to say, well, why should we have to do such and such? Because you got all this mess in you. So now, I think it died. Is that what's still going? So you got all this mess in you. So now, you need to be cleansed. You need to be cleansed. And in order to be cleansed, you got to have a dude who already understands. And it's really that simple. It's really that simple. But I will keep going, but, one camera already died, and I'm sure this one's about to die too, so make this real quick. Hit that like, share, subscribe button. Most of all, learn to temper your mouth. Don't be so quick to speak. Pay attention, observe, analyze, and then start speaking. When you do that, your words become more powerful. And once that starts happening, you'll start attracting more and more people to be under your tutelage, your words, wanting guidance from you, which then translates to you being more powerful. This enhances who you are. This magnifies your purpose and meaning for life. Do that. Do that to the fullest of your abilities. You'll maximize your life. And you'll find happiness a lot more and be more at peace with yourself. So it's with my Craven. Be easy, enjoy your life, do everything necessary. I'm out.